सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च.
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. We have been seeing the Srishti Kramam. Of course, in Sanatana Dharma, it is a cyclic process. So we did see Pralayam, Pralayaranavam, thereby when everything was flooded, when everything was drowned in the waters, there emerged Narayana, there emerged the Kamalam, and seated on that lotus was Brahma. Brahma, who was clueless as to who is his Janaka, where did the lotus where he was seated came from. He wanted to go slide via the Randhram, the Nalam, the inner part of the stalk of the lotus, and he started sliding to know where did this come from. Bhattatri, in his own style, says Ati Mohanam, that particular place where he is going to search from where he emerged, where the lotus emerged, is Ati Mohanam, Ramyam, Ramaniyam. Now, as he continues Brahma's journey, his finding, comes the next shloka. Tatas sakalanalika vivaramargago margayan prayasya shatavatsaram kimapi naiva sandrishtavan nivritya kamalodare sukha nishanna ekagradhihi samadhi balamadadhe bhavadanuggrahaikagrahi tataha saha na sandrishtavan eva. That Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, could not see him anywhere. Tataha saha na sandrishtavan eva kimapi prayasya. Even after trying, it is not that Brahma was seated. He went on trying. He started moving around. He wanted to check. First he looked around, then he started going around the side. So he tried very hard. Kimapi prayasya. He did do that prayasam. He did do that effort. Shata samvatsaram margayan. Shata samvatsaran. Samvatsaram is a year. Shata is 100. 100 years. Please beware, whenever we see such large numbers, 100 is at least understandable. We see some places with 500 years, 1000 years, 10,000 years, 11,000 years, 60,000 years. That may not fit into a human cycle because Vedam is very clear. Shatamanam bhavati shatayah purushaha. A Purusha, if you're born a human, man, woman, whichever race, whichever country, whichever gender, you will live around that 100 years, either minus 20, minus 30, minus 10 or plus 10, plus 20. We don't see people living for 165 years, 200 years, not at all. So 500 years, absolutely not imaginable. So here you have to think it is many, many years. When Vedam says Sahasra Shirishah Purushaha, Sahasrakshaha Sahasrapar, 1000 heads, 1,000 eyes. You have to say he has got many heads, many eyes, which means he has the ability to see everything. That is how we have to take it here. So Shata Samvatsaram Margayan, for over 100 years he was searching. Sakala Nalika Vivara Margagaha. So he was seated on the lotus. The lotus had a stalk. So he went through the stalk. There were many randhrams. There were many holes. So he says, Nalika Vivara Margagaha. So he started searching through every hole. Is there a place where I can see like windows in a building? He was seeing around. If there is any place through which I can spot my karanam, my cause. So, Sakala Nalika Vivara Margagaha Nivritya. He returned. See, he went all the way down. He couldn't see the origin. He came back. So it says, Nivritya Sukha Nishannaha. Then after that, he was not upset. He went and sat on his lotus comfortably. So sitting on his lotus comfortably, he came. So he went all the way and then came back. See, generally on a lighter vein, whenever we end up trekking, in Bhutan there is a tiger's nest, which is quite a big trek. Every country will have such treks. Whenever we climb, the first worry is, oh, I've come all this way. I have to go back this many distance. So Brahma went through the stalk to a certain distance and then he came back. Nivritya Sukha Nishannaha. He went and sat comfortably. Kamalodare Adadhe. In the inside of the lotus with petals around, he was seated in the lotus. And then Samadhi Balam Ekagradhihi. You remember, we had discussed the greatness of Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyanam, Samadhi. That last of the stages where you have a Paramatma Sakshatkaram is called as Samadhi. So Brahma, Samadhi Balam, with the power of that Samadhi, Ekagradhihi, with a single pointed intellect. His mind was fixed on one. Bhavad Anugraha Ekagrahi. How did he suddenly sit in Samadhi with that one-pointed focus? Bhattadri says, Bhavad Anugraha. Hey Krishna, Hey Paramatma, Hey Bhagavan, Hey Guruvayurappa. Bhavad Anugraha. Because of your grace, Ekagrahi, he became single-point focused person. Now Bhattadri continues. Shatena Parivatsaraihi Dridha Samadhi Bandhollasat Prabodha Vishadikritaha Sakhalu Padmini Sambhavaha Adrishtacharam Tavahi Rupam Antardrisha Vyachashta Paritushtadhir Bhujaga Bhoga Bhagashrayam Saha Padmini Sambhavaha Khalu. That lotus born Brahma, indeed, Padmini Sambhavaha. See, if we have been noticing, Brahma and Brahma's connections are all made with lotus. He's seated on lotus. His face looks like lotus. His 8 eyes in the 4 faces look like lotus. Now he went through the lotus stalk, then saw through the orifices in the lotus, and then he came back and sat on the lotus. Now what is he called? Padmini Sambhavaha. Kamalodbhavaha, Sarojasana. Now he is called as Padmini Sambhavaha, the one who is born on the lotus. Saha Khalu, that Brahma indeed. Dridha Samadhi Bandha Ullasat Prabodha Vishadi Kritaha. Because of engagement in Ashtanga Yoga, that too in the 8th stage, 8th Anga called Samadhi, Prabodha Vishadi Kritaha Ullasat Samadhi Bandha. Thereby his knowledge, his mind got purified and he was bestowed with quintessential knowledge. Shatena Parivatsaraihi, for 100 divine years, for many years, he was engaged. Drishtva Antardrisha Tavahi Rupam. On seeing this with the inner eye, he saw through the inner eye his real form. So the moment he saw the real form, Drishtva Antardrisha Tavahi Rupam, on seeing this with the inner eye, Adbhutam Adrishtacharam, wondrous and unseen before. This was never seen before. Bhujaga Bhoga Bhagashrayam. So in his inner eye, Brahma had the vision of Narayana. Adbhutam Adrishtacharam. Adbhutam Balakam, we say in the Dashamaskandam. Tam Adbhutam Balakam Ambujekshanam. Vasudeva saw that Adbhuta Drishya. That time Vasudeva was the Janaka. Now Brahma is the Janya. He is seeing the Janaka. Adbhutam Adrishtacharam Bhujaga Bhoga Bhagashrayam. Now that Parabrahman was seated as a part on the Adishesha. Bhogashrayam Bhoga Bhagashrayam. He was seated on that Bhoga, which is a snake. Vyachashta Paritushtadhihi. Praised by you, his mind became very, 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 very happy. So with a very clear mind, he was seated. Next comes the 6th shloka. Kirita Mukutollasat Katakahara Keyura Yung Mani Spurita Mekhalam Supari Vita Pitambaram Kalaya Kusuma Prabham Galata Lollasat Kaustubham Vapustadai Bhavaye Kamala Janmane Darshitam. The way we have to split is slightly tough. As a shloka you can recite, but when you give Padapadartham, it is very important that we adhere to the way Bhattatri has split. I.e., Bhavaye Tat Vapuhute. After having seen the divine form of Bhagavan in his inner eye, Bhattatri here through Brahma tells Bhagavan, i.e., Bhavaye tat vapuhute. I have to meditate on this divine Divyamangala Vigraham form of yours. Yat darshitam Kamala Janmane. That was revealed through lotus born Brahma. Kirita Makutollasat. Shining with a splendid crown and a diadem. Kataka Hara Keyurayuk. So he has got all these bracelets, beautiful pearl necklaces. He has got armlets. All of this he says, bracelet, pearl necklaces, armlets. Kataka Hara Keyurayuk. Mani Spurita Mekhalam. Now he says, I can see your Mekhala. Annamaya, when he looks at the Lord of Tirumala, he says, Katidhadita Mekhala. Kachitamani Kantika Katidhatita Mekhala. What a beautiful Kanchi Kalapam you've got. So he says, Katakahayu Hara Keyurayuk Manispurita Mekalam. It is not a normal girdle. It has got lot of beautiful, precious, resplendent gems that have been fit. Manispurita Mekalam Suparivita Pitambaram. And below that, he has to wear his attire. So he says, Pitambaram, it is beautifully worn yellow silk cloth. So he says, Suparivita Pitambaram Kalaya Kusuma Prabham. With the body, the Divyamangala Vigraham of Bhagavan is resplendent and hued as Kalaya Kusuma Prabham. It is like the flower of Kalaya. Kalaya Pushpa Varnam is found in his body. Galatalollasak Kaustubham, and around his neck is the Kaustubha gem. So this Kaustubha gem is found on his neck and around his neck, and that is very beautiful to look at. So I bhavaye tat vapuhute yat darshitam kamala janmane kirita makutollasat katakahara keyurayuk. So now when Bhagavan gives darshanam to Brahma, he gives it in his most exquisite, beautiful form with all the abharanams that can be spotted on his body. So Brahma, who was earlier confused, very, very petrified as to how was I created, who created, went through that Nalam, did his efforts, then finally Bhagavan revealed himself. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha namedayana bahuna shrutena yamaivesha vimrute tena labhyaha tasyaisha atma vimrute tanugum swam, says the Upanishad. So Parabrahman chooses to reveal himself. That is when Narayana chose to reveal his divine form to Brahma. So here Brahma sees the divine form of Bhagavan, which is extremely exquisite. What did he do next after that? Did the Srishti begin or did he end up praising Bhagavan? All of that in the next episode.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते। नारायण 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 नारायण